Hey everybody, Johnny Disc Golf back with another interview, and this time I am joined by 2021 Amateur World Champion and now the newest member of Team Thought Space Athletics, Allie Smith. How we doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm glad I could be here today.
Yeah, it's got to be an exciting time. The first big contract or the first contract with a little bit of hype where people were maybe vying for your services. What's the excitement level like? What's the energy like where you're at right now?
Through the roof, honestly. This partnership, I've said this in person and in video now, but like it goes beyond the plastic. The plastic is like one thing that is like huge, right? I can throw thought space, I can throw infinite, and I can really kind of throw an open bag and kind of fill any slots that I might feel I have holes in. But past that is like I'm so excited to be a part of the team. Like I got to kind of be next to the team all season at the Fly Mart when I was vending for DGA, and kind of
Mm.
just seeing how Eric, Erica, and James melded together as a team, and just like them as people was really cool to get to know. And so I kind of got a glimpse of like what that aspect was like. So I'm just really excited to get into the season and get going and really be a part of the team. And I feel more like friends. Like I actually have friends on tour, and not just like, oh, I know who that person is. Like it's really, it feels special and feels, like I said, more than just the plastic and the sponsorship or the monetary, aspect. It is really,
Hmm.
I feel supported and like wanted to be on the team.
Yeah, and valued. I can
That's a good
imagine.
word. Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, and I can imagine just because I've been there, seen a lot of people going through the same thing. But you're fresh on tour. You're learning the courses for the first time. You're meeting people that are on the same tour as you, that are your competitors for the first time. So there's a element of isolation that can occur, or just like feeling alone. So I totally empathize with you when you're saying like you feel a part of something. You feel like you're on something bigger than yourself. What was the timeline on this whole thing though? Was this something that like you knew you were going to be done with DGA and you started it early? Did this all come about really late? Like what's the timeline? How did it all get worked out?
Well, with ThoughtSpace being based in Maine, we had Worlds up in Vermont, so we had that kind of off week as well. It was kind of the perfect storm of like traveling, needed somewhere to kind of be and spend some days off, as well as like running into Erica and being like, "What are you doing in this kind of week period?" And we went up to Maine and saw Aaron with ThoughtSpace, and that was kind of the initial connection. So kind of that time frame there, and at that point it was really just I've always been very open. I'm like, I would disc golf in general is about connections and who you know, and how you get yourself out there is by meeting people. And so I was just really going into the season with like, who can I meet and who can I talk to and how can I get my face out there. And this was one of those opportunities, and it felt right. I've definitely in my life kind of what feels right for me. I kind of go for it. Like example, I applied to one college in high school that it was like a local like state college, and I applied to it.
Mhm.
Didn't even like view it, tour it, knew nothing about it. Applied there, accepted, and went there. And it was the best decision of my life. Like I feel very strongly about decisions and kind of try to dive in head first. So that's how this kind of felt. I talked to some other companies as well. I wasn't going to just like shut down and go fully on this
Mhm.
this contract, with it being still in the 2023 season. But it was a really kind of easy decision for me to make for the 2024 decision year.
Yeah, so slight aside, totally empath or totally like feel you on that. I did the same thing. I applied to one school, San Francisco State. I had never been to San Francisco. Seemed like a good idea, and I've been here ever since. So like,
Wow.
it totally resonates with me when you say that. So I hear you. What were you? And you may have already kind of touched on this a little bit, but what were you looking for in a contract going into 2024? Did you always know that you were going to move on from DGA? Like what were you looking for going into this whole contract search?
Sure. With in 2023, I really was only on tour by vending and selling discs that DJA supplied for me, and that was able to kind of keep me on tour, as well as how I performed. I really outperformed my expectations, so that was amazing. That really helped me stay on tour. Um, but for the 2024, really, I was looking for some sort of monetary stipend that would help me pay for gas, pay for food. I kept every receipt, so I can talk about the exact dollar that it cost me from February until October and what that just looks like. So really, I was looking for just something to get me like by in terms of life essentials, food, gas, travel, truck payments, things like that. And then I think it's pretty standard with contracts moving in that direction with having like a tour series disc or some sort of signature item. Thought Space, we have amazing like artwork and jerseys, so I think that's gonna be that's expected for Thought Space. It's really exciting to kind of get our personality out there. But for me, I was really excited to still vend discs, so I will be doing that now, like again, but I think a little bit more. I think more than just on the Fly Mart days, with me being able to partner with now four of us selling throughout the whole weekend of tournaments. I'm really excited to do that with me still kind of being new in disc golf and getting my face out there.
Yeah, and frankly, like you said, you are new to disc golf, and vending and meeting people one-to-one, meeting and greeting is like, it's just part of the territory. It's kind of something you have to do. So I had written down here, is there going to be more of an emphasis on vending? Sounds like in general, yes. But when I hear you say that, I also think, okay, well, I just talked to Chandler. He's going to have an emphasis on vending. You're going to have an emphasis on vending. James, Eric, Erica, that was kind of their whole stick. How do all of these people vend the same disc? Or is it all like you're all going to be working together on a big team?
That's a wonderful question, and I kind of tried to like pick at their brains last year about like how does that work with just three of you? We opened it up to five. That's even more so, and we're gonna get into some like group chats and kind of start talking and hammering out those details. So this is just me speaking off of what maybe I think would work. They definitely have way more experience in that realm, but I'm assuming we would each have like some sort of maybe. Like Allie stamp, Erica stamp, Eric stamped discs that maybe are on different molds, perhaps. So then that's kind of easy to tell where that money would go. And then maybe some sort of like, some sort of division of like, we have the stock infinite lineup and the stock Thought Space lineup. We made it $1,000. We divide that by 5, and there we go.
Yeah,
work something. Yeah. Kind of like keep track of hours worked. I don't know how.
No,
it
totally.
Really
But it's like with everybody kind of, it's not rocket science to figure out how you make money on tour, right? And part of that is vending. So like if everybody has the same plan, eventually the waters might get slightly diluted. So it is interesting. It's just a real world problem that disc golfers are solving, and like for the first time, really, there's never been this market for discs. Like Fly Mart is crazy now. I mean, you're relatively new to the sport. Like relative to 5 years ago, it is crazy how many people are buying discs in person now.
And I think a big component is like we each kind of have our own genre or our own type of fan, like Erica has her Two Hot Geese fans, and I have maybe more of a Heiser Flip fan, or Eric and James are more power throws, so just like our molds vary, so people kind of garner attention towards that way. So there's definitely
totally
room at the table. Yeah.
You're going to be selling discs, you're going to be throwing discs, you're going to be playing great all season. But let's talk about the tools, the actual Frisbees that you're going to be throwing. DGA had a great lineup, not the most like robust lineup, right? They didn't have like a million different versions of each thing. Nope. A lot of great discs, but not a wide variety. Now your open bag, your Thought Space Infinite, is it a little overwhelming with the amount of discs that you are able to throw now? What's the challenge been like, kind of narrowing the bag down to what you're throwing?
Sure. The way I held my bag was really kind of a one mold. I liked how it fit my hand, and I would kind of try to get varying stabilities of it, which with that, being locked into a smaller lineup, I guess is the word. DJ has a lot of discs and it had every disc I didn't feel any holes in my bag with DGA. I just got off because we were talking about so many things.
No, it's all good. So just discs that are new to you, and frankly, challenge of finding that bag again.
Right. So instead of trying to be like, oh, how do I replace the bonsai or how do I replace the pipeline? It was really like, well, I know I need a straight disc. an overstable disc and kind of an understable disc in terms of fairway drivers. And so that's pretty easy for me to look at the lineups of Thought Space and be like, well, I'm going to throw the Votum. And that's, even I taught high school math. So looking at like flight numbers, I love that. And I know some people like,
Yeah.
flight numbers mean nothing. They mean a little bit. And you can kind of, sure, plastic
Yeah.
stability changes things, but just looking at the numbers before I even throw it, I should have an idea of what it's going to do and kind of how it will replace that certain mold. So for me, it was really fun to just like, ooh, this is going to fit here. And I think I have not overcomplicated my bag. So replacing discs was pretty easy for me.
Yeah, pretty pain free. It makes sense. Are there any molds that you hadn't, and no is a great answer. You have not had a ton of time to like dial everything. Totally fine. But like, are there any molds, are there any discs that stand out that maybe you hadn't considered, or even like, oh, I can finally throw this disc. I saw my friend throw it and I can finally, yes.
Definitely. I won Am World, yes, in 2021, and a staple in my bag was the FD, and that was kind of the time from Discmania when Innova and Discmania were kind of parting ways, perhaps. And so I've got a few like Innova tooled Discmania FDs that are back in the like. I immediately was like, well, I want to throw this. This was so much fun. I remember this, and that fills an easy like straight fairway slot for me. A nice hyzer flip disc. And Ella had given me one of her showstoppers, so I've got one of, it's a little more stable, but it's great to like be able to just have fun, I feel like, and not feel like, oh, I got to practice for Waco, I got to lock it in. So right now it's kind of a little less stressful of knowing my shots, knowing my discs. It's just really just learning and having fun, stress-free, to really fall in love with the molds and the discs.
Yeah, and like you just said, it's fun to be able to like throw your friends' discs. Like you can throw Ella's disc now. You don't just have to be like, I have to stare at it from all the way over there. So that's a really fun element, I feel like, to the in the bag thing too, or the open bag, I should say.
Right.
Where are you right now in physically in the country? Is it Snowpocalypse? Where are you?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Kansas City, Missouri. So we just got they I think it was like 7 inches of snow early in the week. They're back in school now, so it's cold. I've been doing some work inside, getting a lot of putting reps in down in the basement. Kind of just
that was going to be my question. Kind of like, what is the practice routine given the Arcticness outside?
Yes, I always know that winter is coming here. I love living in Missouri with the 4 seasons, so I like the snow and the cold, but I expect it. So I really I got a lot of reps in early in the winter. We had a really mild, honestly, December. Didn't get any snow in December. So it's just been, putting inside, getting a lot of like housekeeping things done, making a packing list so you don't forget anything. With the tour, for me, starting in Florida and then going to Texas, we're going to drive to Florida and then pick up our camper back in Missouri before going to Texas. It kind of saves some wear and tear and some gas money there.
Effort, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But having a packing list for Florida and then having a packing list for the rest of tour, we are fixing some things on our camper, some shelves and stuff. So really like just trying to stay busy, and like positive procrastination, feeling okay about not getting out around everything.
Yes. I love that term. I haven't really thought of it like that, but that's like if there's one term that defines my life, it might be that. So that might be unfortunate, but I've been doing a lot of positive procrastination this off season.
It's a good thing.
It really, no, it is. It is. You have to be okay not grinding.
Yes.
Is there anything that you're taking from tour? Well, I want to get that from a sec. 2023, huge season for you, potentially life-changing year in the grand scheme of things. What's the overall takeaway? Do you feel like it was a successful season? Do you feel like you left a little out there? Like, I think I know where you're going with that one, but like, what was your perspective on 2023?
Sure. Definitely exceeded my expectations. I really was going in there with like, teaching is not for me. I wanted to kind of get out of that profession, fell into disc golf and being pretty successful in the amateur realm. And it was like, well, let's, kind of go out on a limb and give it a try. I even said, I was like, come July when we're back in Kansas City for the wide open, we can always just pack it up and, stay home. That is always a possibility. And very quickly we found out that was not going to be a possibility. I exceeded my expectations in my play. Winning the Kansas City Wide Open was really like eye opening in terms of like I can compete and I have the skills. I think that's a big thing I've talked about before, like imposter syndrome with all of us. Like we each have the skills. It's like, can we just put it all together at one time? And like remembering that we do have that and we do have those skills. So I definitely like grasped and pulled away from the season is like I can compete with the top dogs. Like I played on a round with Kristen Tatar in my first FPO, at Jonesboro. So like that's not out of reach when it kind of seems sometimes unfathomable.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I definitely feel excited about my potential in my like physical aspect of playing in the next year.
I want to take a little bit. I want to even go further back. I want to go into the way back machine, all the way to the first tournament you played all those years, 3 years ago. Okay.
Okay.
Not that long ago. You've been
No.
playing for not a ton of time.
Nope.
2020, FA2, you win Kansas City Wide Open.
Correct.
2021, FA1, you win Kansas City, not Wide Open, but some other tournament with the same name. 2022, you get fifth, first person out of the cash. Yes. Was it like manifest destiny coming back? Was it like, I have to complete all division wins at this tournament? Like, what was the confidence level going into the tournament? Talk about winning your home tournament.
I get emotional thinking about it now. Any videos I see, I get emotional. Like there are so many moments of the tournament in general. Like my mom and dad were there and got to watch. A representative of each of my sponsors like made their way out and came to like watch me physically there. So like from Michigan, that's a long ways, and like a surprise. I ran cross country at that course. That course has only been around since 2014. I grew up. I learned how to play disc golf there. Like so many, like I said, I'm tearing up thinking about it now. Like
I got chills.
Yeah, I've played so many solo practice rounds. Like it was so special to come and like everyone got to see me. Everyone got to watch me and experience it with me. And this is like kind of what I said in my little like, my winning speech, but like it's special. It's kind of without, I have to like gather myself.
Yeah, it's bigger than just disc golf, though. I hear you too. I tear up at Gatorade commercials. It's ridiculous. It's bigger than disc golf, though. It's like it is moments like this. Like, yeah, we're trying to scrap by and make a living doing something we love. And I worked in education at times too. I totally understand how you made. That's just like, gosh, 20 more years of this. So making the leap out to do something like this, buy whatever vehicle you bought, make the journey across country, to have that moment, both as an end point, but also as a jumping off and a beginning point, is something that I think is just so much bigger than disc golf. It's like something 35, 40, 50 years from now, it's not my moment, it's your moment. You'll be sitting back thinking about how special that was. You'll be able to tell stories about it. So I just, it was just, we didn't even have a relationship at that. I don't even know you that, you know what I mean? But it was special to me. I could feel it. So I appreciate you in that performance.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Even like my old teacher coworkers like came and watched and spectated. Like it really,
That's awesome.
It was full circle when I won in FA2. I didn't even know disc golf existed in a competitive state. I was playing it like I thought it was more of a where you raise money, a charity. I thought it was more like people do these things to raise money and people come and like it's like a fun activity.
Exhibition,
Yes, and so I had gone to one that was like raising money for charity, and I played past this woman, Anna Hare, and she was like, "You need to sign up for the tournament. That's like it's a big tournament." And I was like, "Okay." And so like that sparked it, and so for me it was really just like pride and showing like the people here that really have always the Kansas City community has always been behind me and been like, we know and push you and support you. And like they knew I was going to be a world champion. They were like, you're going to go win Am Worlds. Like it's been really cool to kind of come home and really feel like the pat on the back and the warmth and like the hug that everyone gives you. It's really, really cool. Lack of words.
Very true. Well, to have that support. I mean, it's not like I've heard that a lot from disc golf areas that they bring up their own. They everyone across the country seems to be very supportive and awesome, but like you're very new to the scene relative. I mean, I don't know how many years you've been playing in total, but it can't be a ton more than that 2020, maybe 5 years or something like that.
3 or 4. Yep.
Yeah. So when you go back to Kansas City, like you're back there right now, if you go out in the course, are you like, is it like a little bit of disc golf royalty? Are you still the new person there? Like, what's the relationship with you in the club?
Yeah, and I every time that I come back, I turn to Mary, my fiance, Caddy. You may see her on tour, and I'm like, I forgot. I'm like, I can go to the grocery store and it's like no problem.
Yeah.
But then I like get out of the car into the parking lot, and everyone's like, oh, Al,
Or you
Al
just see the
Smith.
eyes
And I'm
like,
like, yeah, it's cool. Like I try to be humble about it, but I always say hi if somebody says hi to me. I generally don't say hi and smile at people. I'm kind of eyes to the T,
yeah.
but I'm always trying to look at people when they say hi to me. But it is always that like, oh, why do you know me? And you're like, oh, disc golf, like duh.
Yeah. Yeah. I always say it's like, once you get some notoriety in disc golf, it's like the perfect level of celebrity, like truly D-list. Like very specific places on earth, you would have like a level of celebrity, but most of the time doesn't affect your life whatsoever in the negative. It's like actually the perfect, you get the taste of both sides.
Yeah. We went to Idlewild and they had the like county fair, and we went with Missy, and we were waiting in line, and somebody was like, Missy Gannon, hey, and she was like, hey, and then was like, oh, you know me because of disc golf, like, hey,
Yeah.
like
That's
not
so
because
funny.
like
Yeah,
you
keep it
know
cool.
me actually as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's too funny. Last thing on last year that I want to tag on is the Ace at Worlds. Like you won the Kansas City Wide Open, but somehow I think more people remember the moment out at Worlds. Obviously, just a world stage is huge, but
Yeah.
what did that? You said that was around the time you were hanging out with Aaron from Thought Space. Anyway, I'm sure that helped grease the wheels a little bit. Like, what was that experience like, and how did that impact maybe how the end of the season or the off season went for you?
Yeah, like I think that I'm more known for I'm like, you got that ace at Worlds. You like I was there, saw that ace. That was so cool. And I'm like, I was there too, and it was so cool. And I will stop every time I see it again, the video, and I will watch it, and I'm amazed. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. If anybody who kind of knows my disc golf upbringing, it was forehands. I threw mostly forehands, power forehands. So for me to throw like a turnover backhand and get an ace is like never would have thought, never would have guessed. Yeah, like it was that time after like the round finishes, and I go up to the DGA tent, and everyone's hugging, everyone's like freaking out. It just feels like it was like like out of body experience. Like it was, Nate Sexton got an ace that was on camera there. Like a lot of people got aces. Mine just happened to be at the right place, the right time, and it was.
Well
special.
filmed as well. Like Nate's was tricky through. It's like
That's true.
It's one thing to get an ace. It's one thing to get like an ace on camera, but like a hole that films well, you see it going the whole way. It was just like that was the epic ace of Worlds.
It was, and it honestly it jump started the rest of my round. I had started off very poorly in that round, like had dropped a lot of spaces, and that was like it was like ace birdie birdie, like really lit a fire under me to get that going. Actually, I'll toot my own horn. I was talking about being humble earlier. I got an ace at North Cove at a Silver Series earlier in that year as well. In practice on that hole, I had chained out the day before, and then I aced it. And then flash forward to Worlds, not on that hole. So that was hole 8. Hole 10 is a similar shot, big turnover or forehand. It's kind of a valley shot, chained out with that disc in practice, and then aced. It's just like meant to be.
Good juju. Yeah, good juju. Yeah. That's like a disc that you maybe just slide out of the bag and save for my public,
exactly.
My private collection.
That's what's happened.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, you only did 1 year with DGA full time, or maybe it was a couple years, but 1 year that I knew that you. How many did you? What do you do with your discs?
Like DJ discs.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you have a bunch that I'm sure just aren't going to be in rotation now. Just like catalog them.
Yes, kind of. I did catalog them. I've got an Excel, Google Sheets with them all listed and all the colors and everything. I think I'm gonna try to maybe work out some sort of maybe what do they call it, consignment with some local
Mm.
shops here, or just like
Mm-hmm.
people who want and need some discs would love to
Yeah,
like work that out. Yeah, I kind of
but they're
just am.
available.
There, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
that's kind
Um,
of where I'm at.
yeah, good point. So going into next season, 2024, new bag, new plastic, a lot of excitement, only up from here in theory. But
Yes.
do you have specific goals? Are you somebody that something tells me you're writing down a goal or two? Are you specific with that, or do you just like kind of want the disc leave in your hand good all the time and leave it at that?
Sure. I think my goals. I try not to be. I honest. I get kind of upset. Okay, so I exceeded my expectations last year, and I was setting goals, and I would like hit the goal, but then be like, but I was only in 20th place. But I'm like, and Mary be like, but you accomplished your goal. Like what? Why are you like sad about it? So I kind of learned that like setting very specific goals, even if I attain them, I'm like, I could have done better. I'm always
Yep.
going to be this. I could have done better, could have placed better, could have made this putt. So I'm trying to maybe have more goals outside of disc golf and like 12 push-ups a day. Last year it was 10 push-ups a day, so now this year it's 12. It sounds crazy. Tried to talk to Erica about it. It's gained me 50 feet of distance easily doing 10 push-ups a day. So I'm not trying to like I'm going to the gym and doing some workouts, but I'm not trying to like lift heavy. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
run. Kudos to everyone who is doing that. I'm not shaming those people. Not me though.
It ain't me.
No. And really just trying to like eat food. That sounds like the simplest thing. I don't have an appetite in the morning, so like getting breakfast in is
Mm.
hard. But like I got to wake up at 8 or 9 to go get a practice round in, so it's crucial. So really like eating breakfast, making sure I'm eating lunch, and cooking dinner. Like eating well is going to help me be so much
Yeah.
more successful. That's kind of a goal.
Yeah, and honestly, being when you're on tour, it can be like the most difficult thing to do, and not specifically like eat in general, but like eat well, and like
Mm-hmm.
you're an athlete. These are your tools.
Yeah.
You need to treat it well, right? But we're on
Right.
tour. Most people aren't making a ton of money, and so
Mm-hmm.
they're not even in Airbnbs with good kitchens. So you're kind of like
Mm-hmm.
it's tricky. So to hear you say that that's like a goal and something you're specifically striving for, I think that's like it is going to be crucial. Are you touring full time again, like last year, like a whole real deal?
Yes. Yep. Haven't gotten the full schedule like hammered out yet. Still kind of thinking back and forth about Europe. I'm really leaning towards going. I would love to, but money and see how
Yeah.
things kind of pan out. But yeah, would
Yep.
love to do that. Mhm.
And then what are you going to be touring in? Were you in like a truck last year? I want to say.
Yep, like a
Yeah,
truck and a camper trailer pull
that's right.
along.
That's right.
Um, Small. It's like 17 feet, kind of perfect. It's got a bathroom, bed, kitchen. We weighed our options between that and doing the like a van. We knew Airbnb driving around was not in the financial realm yet, and just seems like a lot of moving parts and a lot of just so. If I feel a lot more in control having a vehicle that we can separate from our home and drive to the gas station, drive to get
Yeah.
food, versus like make sure all the cabinets are locked closed in the
Yeah.
van and nothing's gonna fall. So we like it. We like it a lot. We have a generator that we use just occasionally in a few stops, but most of the time we can kind of get away with boondocking. A lot of it's
Yeah.
run off propane. So yeah.
Hmm. The classic tour life. I love it. It continues
Mm-hmm.
for another year. Um, that's about all I had for as far as like relevant disc golf questions. Last thing I wanted to touch on though, what have you been watching? Are you a content person? Are you watching shows? Are you live sports? Like what movies have you been enjoying? What's been on the television or
Oh, this
iPad
is
or
a great
something?
question because I am way more a watcher than a listener. Music's not
Mm,
really my thing. More of a white noise kind of person. Watching a lot of TV, like I feel like that not the realm most people are living in now. Like with
yeah.
the way media is, like we just are, like maybe just
Yes.
okay. I consume too much media in terms of TV, but let's see, Netflix. We just watched the kind of very morbid Fall of the House of Usher, kind of
Oh,
dark.
we didn't finish it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to watch.
Yeah.
I call it like a not while eating
Yeah,
show.
yeah. My girlfriend, we watched a
Yeah.
couple episodes. We're like, maybe not right now. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe exactly. What else? We love Survivor. So Survivor just finished like the
Yep,
live
we watched that
season.
too.
I guess they're doing another season come February. That's really exciting for tour. But we're watching Australian Survivor through YouTube. So
Wow.
it's better than American Survivor. I don't know how they did it, but they've come up with challenges and like immunity idols that America's not even thought of like doing. Like, how did we not think to do this? This is way
Yeah.
smarter, way better.
Are they not
Like,
in the same room? It's the same, like, come on.
right,
Yeah.
the same place. Like, you probably back to back
Yeah.
filming these things.
Offices or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Okay, Australian Survivor. I'm honestly
Mm-hmm.
going to have to dig it. You said it's on YouTube?
Yeah, well, so there's also a Facebook group. It's like, oh shoot, Mary knows the name. It's like The Tribe Has Spoken. I think that's what
You're
it's called.
going
The Tribe
deep
Has
if it's
Spoken.
Australian Facebook Survivor groups.
Yeah, yeah. But then Mary just found the YouTube link and
Okay.
types in the name and shit pops up. Yeah. Very cool.
Nice, good. I love it. I actually had never watched a season of Survivor until this year, and so then a few of our friends had started watching it, so we watched this season, and now we're going back. My mom
have
has
to.
Paramount Plus, so we're signed in. We're like googling best Survivor seasons.
Yes.
Oh my god!
You have to.
So I just
That's so
I don't know.
exciting.
I don't know if you like go deep on it. We just watched season 12 from the Wayback Machine, with Shane Powers, where he like smuggles a cigarette from the Panamanian dudes. It was incredible. It was like a peak Survivor moment. Anyway, it was
Well,
awesome.
that is crazy. That's fresh when Hidden Immunity Idols didn't come in until season 10.
Oh, really?
right around that
Okay.
time.
So that's and there was one for the entire season,
yeah, the
and it
whole
wasn't
time,
even
yeah.
available for everyone. It was only
No.
on an exile island. So it was like,
Yes.
oh my god. Yeah, the new era changed the game. They kept saying, "Oh, we're in the new era. We're in the new era." We had to go back to watch even what's the old era.
Right, yes. Mm-hmm. It's good.
Anyway,
Some good
it's
stuff
good.
there.
I know it's so good. So anyway, that's been our content of choice this offseason. It's good to see that you're about the same.
Yep.
Enough with the shenanigans and just talking about nothing. I want to give you a chance to speak to the fans and anybody at home, anybody rooting for Allie, whether it was last year, this year, or any of the years going forward.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely my mom and dad. I mean, I'm at their house as a almost 30-year-old. That's kind of, frowned upon in some societies, but, really could not do what I'm doing or trying to do without them. They're so supportive. You've probably seen them running around cheering for me. They're the best. Kansas City Disc Golf, like I said, has been huge. They've really been like, what do you need? What can we help you set up? What can you do? We did a little reveal for the announcement for Thought Space and Infinite and did like a college game day, kind of where am I going? So that was really fun. And like, just, yeah, like the support of like, hey, you can do that. Or like people message me all the time, and I'm sure that will grow as I get more followers, but just like how they're like, oh, I saw you throw this disc and I really like love throwing it. Or you talked to me at this one tournament and it's really been meaningful to me. So I think just like anybody who has spent time to kind of get to know me or follow me or like go and watch my rounds has been really special to kind of experience alongside. So thank you to everyone.
Very well said. Yeah, and I appreciate your time. Truly, I love this part of the season because I get to chat with everyone, especially everyone's so excited right now. It's full of hope.
Right.
We're not like halfway through the season. We're like, ah. So this is one of my favorite times of the year. Thank you for taking the time to do the interview. I can't wait to see your game grow. Stoked to see you throw in these new discs. And frankly, for the new jerseys, too. That's half the fun with Thought Space. So all good things coming up for 2024. For you at home, thank you for watching the interview, first of all. And if you'd like interviews with all of your favorite disc golfers, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel.